Good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning, the first day of March, and I just wanted to come up here real quick. I don't know how long, wherever this takes me, it takes me, right? But like I said, today's March 1st, and so I know it means, for a lot of people, this is Women History Month, but I'm just speaking to everybody right now. Let's just let's march on, right? So the first 2 months may have been a very trying time for some people. Some of us may have brought in some things from last year to this year, right? Some of us, we just go through some things, right? Some people are still worrying about certain things. Some people are still going through a troubling situation. Some people are just sad for whatever reason. Some of us are grieving. Some of us we're really losing ourselves. So that's part of the grieving that I'm talking about because we're grieving the fact that people may be walking all over us. We may be losing family members. We may be losing friends. We may be losing relationships. We may have been, disrespected. We may have been manipulated, misused, whatever the case may be. Good morning, Watermelon. But it's just time to march on, right? Because somewhere down the line, some of us are going to say enough is enough. Some of us have to say enough is enough. We have to go forward. We have to go forward because if we keep staying in a rut, if we keep staying disappointed, if we keep allowing people to hurt us, it's not going to be a good product that is going to be shown of you. And so it's just time to march on. Let's just take this first day and just say, you know what? Let's go forward. Let's fight the difficulties. Let's fight the people that's trying to misuse us. Let's fight the people that's trying to take advantage of us. Let's fight the people that say that they say that they love us and they're not reciprocating the same thing that they're saying. Actions is louder than words. So we have to put this into action. We have to go forward. Why do we have to go forward? Because nobody wants to stand still, right? We always want to go forward. Good morning, cuz we got to keep going forward because the longer we stand still is the longer we stagnate, and stagnation kills dreams. Stagnation kills goals. Stagnation just kills any momentum that you have going forward. But we have to march on. I know that I did a live before and I told everybody to hold the line. There's a situation for every season. We held the line there because if we don't hold up and prepare ourselves and defend ourselves, we will be walked all over. So now that we are defending ourselves by going forward, we must take the steps forward. We have to say enough to sadness. We got to say enough to oppression. We got to say enough to anxiety. We have to say enough to all of the things that's keeping us down. We don't have change, literal change. But as long as we have those negative entities, those are the chains that's holding us. That's the yoke that's stopping us. You know what I mean? The Bible says, when I am weak, then I am strong. We have been at our weakest point already because people are attacking us. People are misusing us. People are taking our kindness for weaknesses. We have to go forward. We have to march forward because at the end of the day, we have to go forward. March on. Why? Because nobody wants to be where they at. And even if you are happy, some way, shape, or form, you found happiness in this state, you still have to march on because you have to keep the happiness. But this is, for the most part, there are people that's going through some things. I reach out to people. I tell everybody, yo, if you need me, I'm here. Because I know there are people that feels like they don't have nobody to hold on to. But if you need somebody, we can march on together. Give me your hand. I'll give you my ear if you need to talk. Whatever you need from me, I will give it. That does not mean that nobody cares. It means somebody cares. But we have to march on because there's no more time to be sitting back and going through the doom and gloom. It's no more time. Atmosphere, good morning. We have to go forward. If we stand still, the negative entities are coming back after us. You understand what I'm saying? There have been people that have been waiting on your downfall for a very long time. There have been people that have been manipulating your downfall for a very long time. But it's time to stand up and march on, march forward. We are no longer holding the line. We have to go forward. There's a season and a reason for everything. Some people may come and go out your life, but you still got to march on, right? It doesn't matter if it's a sibling. It doesn't matter if it's your parents. It doesn't matter if it's a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, or wife. We have to march on. We cannot just stand still and allow ourselves to be attacked. The attacks is critical. It's horrible. And if we stand still, we have no defense. We may feel blindsided. We may feel it's so many things that we are feeling right now, right? But the fact of the matter is, once you've been smacked once, you have to either move on or punch your way out of a situation, or you're gonna stand still. How does it go? You understand? At the end of the day, we have to go forward. Go forward. Because if you go forward, you're pressing on. You're pressing on to your mark. The mark is to be at peace, right? The mark is to feel happy and not anxious, to feel happy and not depressed, to feel joy and not pain. But every time you turn around, it seems like somebody's after you. It seems like somebody is misusing you. It seems like somebody is attacking you. Well, enough is enough, right? We can't just stand there and do nothing. We have to defend, we have to go forward. We have to get away from them. It's not running if you live to see another day, right? So for all of those people that's going through those situations, let's march on. This is the first day of March. May this be your first day of marching away from those situations. May this be the first day of you walking away from those doom and gloom scenarios. It hurts. Yes, it hurts. Absolutely, it hurts. But at the end of the day, if you don't love yourself, who the hell is going to love you, right? You got to love yourself. You got to understand you have sacrificed for people so much that it's time to take care of you. So march forward. If people don't appreciate it, march forward. If they don't understand why you did the things that you did, march forward. And for those people that feel like there's nobody behind them, there are people here for you. There are people that really love people out here, right? You know, like I said, I reach out to a lot of people. I speak to a lot of people. You know, that's what I do, right? I can't be around the whole world, but at the same time, I want people to know that I am here for them. Why? Because there are people that feel alone. You are not alone. You are being attacked, but you don't have to go through this yourself. Come to this, find your safety wherever that is. Not hiding under a shell, but going forward. Realist, good morning. But I'm just saying, it's just time for us to march forward. Make this your first day of marching forward, because you're going to get tired. And I'm afraid that when people get tired, they're going to be tired and not want to be around anymore. There are people that get so tired that they want to sleep and not wake up. This is not one of those times. We are all important. We are all valuable, but that does not mean that, you know, we have to stand there and take the abuse. We don't have to stand there and take the attacks. We have to stand there and allow people to misuse us. No, we don't. We don't have to do that. And like I said, I don't care what it is. Sometimes they say turn the other cheek. But what's going to happen when your cheeks get sore, right? You have to move on. Dust your shoes off and go forward, right? At our weakest point, we will be strong, because at the end of the day, the strength is within us to go forward. We have to understand that it goes forward. Nobody could love you better than yourself, right? No one should love you more than you love yourself. They can add, but they should not love you more than you love yourself. They can take away because they can drain the energies out of you, but they should not love you more than you love yourself. So it's time to march on, right? You get sick and tired of being the good person. You get tired of I want to be the best me I can be. Sometimes you ready to say, you know what? I don't give a damn anymore. I'm on that I don't give a damn mode. And even though that may not be you, it's in you. And that's not the time for you to have that, because there are people that are looking for you. There's people that's looking for you to be that person, that loving person that you have been for most of your life. But people got to understand, this is not the time to drain you. This is not the time to come toward you. I need. You need to go forward in your life. If I give you the blueprint to go forward, if I point you east, go east. Don't turn around and go west. Don't turn left when you're supposed to go right. We have to march on, everybody. And it's sad that, we hold on to so much in our life, right? We've been through so much. We've been through it. We all have a story of what we've been through. Urban, good morning. We have that pain. We have that suffering. But why are we holding on to it? It's time to go forward. The storm is getting ready. It can end at any moment. And when you see that rainbow, we're supposed to approach the other side of it to get the peace, the happiness, and all of those things. But why are we still dwelling on the other side? We don't have to stand there. We just have to march on. Let's go forward. You understand? Like, enough is enough. We have to do what's best for us in our lives. We unlooked out for everybody else. We unlooked out for Jane. We unlooked out for Jimmy. We unlooked out for Tom. We unlooked out for Becky. We unlooked out for everybody but the person that needs us the most. Us, me, you. It's time for us to find ourselves. It's time for us to march on. I know that I'm telling people, I've been promoting a fast for the past few weeks, but some people need to really examine themselves. How much more of this can you take? How much more emotional abuse can you take? How much manipulation can you take? How much of the misuse of a family member could you take? How much more of a friendship that's only one-sided could you take? It's time for us to march on. Because here's the thing, right? And I tell people this that I talk to all the time. If somebody hurts you and they're not hurt, they don't love you. They are using you. They are draining you. They are using every piece of your puzzle to get what they need and leave you high and dry. Well, it's time to march on. We can't keep doing that no more. Like, I just got off the phone with somebody very close to me, and I told them the same thing. We need to march on. We can't keep worrying about what they need, what they want. What about us? If we keep giving, what do we have for ourselves? Anti, good morning. We have to keep going forward. As much as we want to be positive people, as much as we want to do the right thing, we know that there are people waiting for us to fall on our face. We know that there are people that's sitting there just want to just use you for your blessings, use you for your purpose. No, it's still time to march forward. We're not supposed to leave no one behind. In the military, they say, leave no one behind. We're not leaving you behind. You don't want to come forward with us. So we're going to march on. You stay still. We'll march forward. You hold the line. We'll march forward. We have to march on. We have bigger and better things ahead of us. And as long as we keep sitting there with the doom and gloom and with the worryation and all of those things, we're not going to get to where we got to go. We're not going to reach our finish line. We're not going to receive the blessing that God has in store for each and every one of us. Yes, each and every one of us, whether you believe that he's in the sky, or understand that he is giving himself within you. We won't receive the blessing because we're too busy worrying about what's happening behind us. No, we need to go forward, march on. Stop holding on to those pains. And it may sound easier said than done on my behalf. And if it sounds that way, I'll apologize. But guess what? If I'm not doing nothing wrong, I really don't have to apologize. All I'm telling you guys is to march forward. Because here's the deal. The longer you sit still, like I just told you guys, we will be stuck in a rut. Quicksand is around us each and every day. How much longer are we going to sit there and not try to get out of it? And I understand they say if you fight the quicksand, it's going to pull you down even more. But guess what? There are people coming to rescue you. There are people that want the best for you. They want to give you the rope and try to pull you out. There's people pulling for you. But as long as you keep sitting there doing the doom and gloom, you're not going to be able to see that. you're not going to be able to see, you're not going to see the love that someone is trying to give you, because all you see is the hurt and pains of what happened yesterday. It's time to leave yesterday where it's at. I told y'all on the live before, drop your baggage. It's time to move on. It's time to march on. Drop your baggage and move forward. Why do we need to move forward? Because if we stand still, there's nothing there for us. I know a lot of us live in our hometowns. We see the metropolises, they're building up instead of sideways. Why? Because there's no more room to go back and forth. You either gonna go up or you're gonna stay stagnated. That's a decision that you guys have to make. I don't want to be stagnated no more. I'm really tired of it. Sometimes when you sit still and see what's going on, because you can be observant, you see there's people that don't want the best for themselves. We can't stay around them people, because why are we staying around people that don't want the best for themselves? If you love them, you try to encourage them, and if they don't want to go, you're gonna have to go forward and love them from a distance. But it's time to march on, because it's just time. Why are we standing still and waiting for manna to fall out the sky? We can make things happen, but as long as you sitting still, you are allowing that entity that's holding you back to keep you in bondage. We're trying to be free. We're not trying to take good morning. We're trying to be free. We're not trying to be held in bondage. Stop letting pains of yesterday hold you bondage. It may be easier said than done. What can we do about it? We can march on. We could try to find the best in today and work on tomorrow. We can't fix what happened 20 years ago. We can't fix what happened 15 years ago. But we can improve today. We can start on today. What we can build on today. And that's the thing, right? And forgive me if I sound like I'm rumbling, but it's just time for us to march on. You get tired. Like, it's sad how many good people feel like there's no progress going on in their life. It's sad when you see the people that you love not being able to receive the proper love that they got, that they deserve, because they're so busy worrying about what happened yesterday, that pain that got them stuck in bondage. It's just time to go forward. It's time to really, it's just time. Because at the end of the day, man, life is too short, right? The Bible promises us 70 years if we honor our parents, right? And some of us don't even have parents, but we believe that we're honoring them by doing what we think they would want us to do, is to be productive, to go forward, to do the best that we can do for whatever family members is here. And even if that family member doesn't do right by us, it's okay. The blessing still comes for you. But we are so much in pain that we don't even see the blessing, right? Sometimes people remove themselves and we're still chasing them. For what reason? Stop chasing them. They don't want your love. If they don't want your love, it's not for you to chase. Hey, it's still here for you. It's still here. No, I'm sorry, cousin. I'm sorry, mama. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, uncle, niece, auntie. It's not for you. I'm sorry, friend. I'm not chasing you no more. I'm sorry, lover. I'm not chasing you no more. I'm not chasing. Why? Because you are the person that's holding everything back. You the one that's holding us up. You the one that's not making this relationship work. There's no work. There's no production in a one-sided relationship. None. Zero. So if you being the best cousin you can be and they're not reciprocating it, you're draining yourself. If you being the best auntie that you can be and they not reciprocating it, you're draining yourself. Whatever the situation is, if you're the best friend and it's not being reciprocated, you're draining yourself. Stop draining yourself. Somewhere down the line, you have to refuel and go forward, because life is not just about them. And since you're growing, you understand that you're going to outgrow some people, and it's not your fault that they don't want to progress with you. They want to regress. That's on them. That's on them. We're marching forward. We're trying to grow. We're trying to go forward. We're trying to move on. But there are people that, we love so much that we don't want to leave them. There's nothing we can do about that, guys. Nothing we can do about it. Why? Because they don't want it. You can't want it for them. They got to want it for themselves. We have to march on. You know what I mean? All the ladies that's going through trials and tribulations, this is your month. It's time for y'all to march on. No more pain, no more suffering, no more worriations from what happened yesterday. It's time to move on. It's time to march on. Be the best you can be. Be the best Miss Coco BS you can be. Be the best Tay you can be. Be the best antisocial. Be the best cheeky. Be the best watermelon. It's your month. But every month is your month. Just like every month is our month. Every day is our day. We have to worry about ourselves sometimes. We can't keep worrying about the other people that's going through the doom and gloom. March on. It's time for you to march on. If they don't love themselves, you pouring love into them don't mean a hill of beans. The price of tea in China is never going to change because they're going through what they're going through. But it's changing for you because you're draining yourself. It's time to march on. We got to heal from them situations. We got to heal from pouring into people that don't want your love. We gotta heal from, the scars of yesterday. We do. We can't just put a Band-Aid on it and keep picking the wound. Stop picking the wound. Stop looking at the wound. In time, it will get better. But as long as you don't want to move in time, you're gonna be stuck in a rut. That heal's never gonna that wound's never gonna heal. That's right, Tay. It's time to spring forward. The same way they move the clock forward is the same way your attitude is supposed to move forward. The same way your mind is supposed to move forward. The same way your soul and spirit is supposed to move forward. Find that energy. Find that strength in you to move forward. It does not mean that you don't love that person that you're leaving behind. It does not mean you don't love that sibling. It does not mean that you don't love that aunt or uncle or cousin or boyfriend or girlfriend. It doesn't mean that. It just means it's time for you to take care of you. It's time for you to worry about you. I am. Remember, we were just talking about I am. It's time for I am to move on. I am willing to love myself. I am willing to step forward. I am willing to correct my errors. I am willing to admit my mistakes. I'm telling y'all, right? In order for you to count to somebody, you have to be accountable, right? That can't happen if you don't understand that you count. You count, but you got to hold yourself accountable. I think I'm doing too much. We've done so much because we thought we wasn't doing enough, but we're not holding ourselves accountable. Like, I think I am pouring into them too much. I think I am worried about them too much. I think I love them too damn much, because the more that I love them, I'm enabling them. I am crippling them. If you're hurting a person and not helping a person, step the hell back, because it's no way in the world that progression happens if you're enabling somebody. If you bring an alcoholic some beer, they're gonna drink it. You can't enable somebody. It's time for you to move on. You have to love yourself enough to understand who you are. You got to hold yourself accountable for whatever's going on with you. If you pouring too much, you're gonna eventually drain yourself. You got to hold yourself accountable to that. So it's time to march on. March to your destination of refueling. March on to the destination of your peace. March on to the destination of your happiness. We can't be accountable for what somebody else say, because to them, you may not even count. Have we ever even thought about that? As much as you pouring into somebody, you may not even be accountable. I mean, you may not even count, excuse me. You may not count to that person. There are people out here just willing to ride your coattail because you're blessed. There's people out here that just ride your coattail because you give so much. They just taking extras instead of giving it, allowing that to go to somebody that needs it. It's time for us to stop being. It's time for some of us to be selfish. If we're the ones that's giving, we have to be selfish. We have to say, you know what? I need to hold on to this for somebody else. I understand that I'm a storehouse, but the storehouse only works if people needs it. If people is rejecting it, don't do it. Don't keep pouring into somebody that don't want it. And it hurts. Yes, it will hurt, because you put that time, you put that effort, you put that love into that person. But if they're not getting any better, we have to walk away. We have to march on from that too. You have to understand that you are just as important as the person that you're pouring into. I understand that, we're supposed to be givers, and I believe I am a giver. But at the same time, if you don't understand that you have to take care of yourself in order to give, then you're not holding yourself accountable. You won't even count to that person because you're not holding yourself accountable. You're not even paying attention to how much or how little that they're paying attention to you, or how much they are using you, or how much they're manipulating you. It's okay to do the right thing. It's okay to do what's best for you. It is. It's really okay. But it doesn't mean that you continue to do things in that fashion to where you're literally spiritually killing yourself. Your soul is dying because you're doing so much that you're not even refueling yourself. That's backwards. That's not what we're here for. We're here to be the best us that we can be. And if some of us are those people that loves to give, then we give. But it doesn't mean that you give to somebody who's overflowing. You can't give to an overflower of pain. You can't give to an overflower who is suffering. You can't give to an overflower because they may not be willing to receive it. So it's time to march on, right? It's time for us to march on and love ourselves, love on ourselves. There was an expression when I was coming up in New York. Yo, one yourself. Okay, cool. One yourself then. One yourself mean you gotta embrace yourself. You gotta hug yourself. You gotta love yourself. You gotta do the things that you gotta do in order for this thing to happen. But in order for it to happen, you gotta march on. You can't stay still. It's time to march on. If you're not marching on, you're standing still. And if you're standing still, ain't no bus coming. Ain't none of that happening. You understand what I'm saying? If it's not happening, then what's the point of us doing it? You see what I mean? Oh, wow. Testing one, two. I'm sorry, guys. I was so I was going so much the thing ran out on me, but I'm back, you know. But yeah, it's just time that we have to do what's best for us. Meet you mad late. You so silly. I'm back though. Thank you for the commercial break, me. But it's like I said, it's just time, man. It's time for us to march on. We just get so overwhelmed with things. We get so overwhelmed with situations and people for whatever reason. But we have to take care of ourselves too. We got to love ourselves enough to say, you know what, I did my best. I did everything possible to be the best me, to be the best person that I say I can be, to help you. Hold on, guys. Let me get together. Yeah. So it's just like, whatever we go through, right? We expect people to be in our corners, right? We expect people to do things, but we should not be expected to do everything. We should not be pouring so much into a person that they're overflowing and they're not even using the gift that you gave them or the gift that they even understand that they have. We have to understand that, in order to go forward, we have to limit ourselves. We have to take time and assess the situations, to assess what's really happening, to assess, is this thing really working in that person's favor that we're pouring into. And if it isn't, then we have to say, you know what, it's time for us to stop. It really, really is. So as long as we understand that it's to march forward means to go ahead and not look behind, we can all be fine. Stop worrying about the pains of yesterday. Stop worrying about how much they have hurt us. Stop worrying about all of those things. We have to stop giving them the power in order to go forward, because as long as they have the power, they're putting the chains on us. And you know good and well you cannot go no further as long as there's a chain on you. There's no progression going with a chain. You're limited. We are not meant to be limited on this earth. We are more than creators. We are bound takers. We are high steppers. We can do things exceedingly abundantly above all things, right? As long as we know that God has given us those strengths and energies, then we should do that. We can't keep worrying about it. We can't change it. So let's go forward. Now, is there a chance that we may have to cross that bridge again? Maybe so. But as long as you know that you're not the cause of that bridge falling apart, you should be fine, right? Because your side of the bridge is foundated. There's no crack in the foundation, right? You didn't set fire to it. You didn't do nothing. All you did was embrace it with love, bless it with love, give it the love that it needs. So you just have to understand that this is not for everybody. But as long as you marching on to your next destination, we can make it. We would love for everybody to come, but as long as you growing, everybody's not going to grow with you. There are going to be some people that's stagnated. There's going to be some people that's not willing to elevate with you. That's a them thing. That's their problem. That's not your problem. You understand? So it's just like I said. It's just sad that we are going through what we're going through. But at the end of the day, we have to do what's best for us, and what's best for us is marching on. If we are doing what we can, we need to march on. If we want to be the best us, we got to march on. The greatness in us. We still have to march on, because as long as we stand stagnated, the dreams are being killed each and every second that we stagnated. Right? It is it. The goal will be lost. That goal will just be a dream. So we need to go forward. So you guys have to. We all have to, not just you guys, because when I point my fingers, I got three pointed at me. So we all need to keep pressing towards the mark. Get out the valley, head towards the hills. There's greatness in front of us. There's love in front of us. There's peace in front of us. But as long as we standing still and not marching on, we may not receive it. And so, thank you guys for, just bearing with me because of the situation that I just ran through with the live being short. stop for a second. But like I said, I just really wanted to get on here because I know there are people that's going through some things. And like I told the person that I was on the phone with, this has to go out. It has to go out because there's somebody that's going through this. There's somebody that needs to hear this. It's just a word of encouragement, but it may allow them to press towards the mark because somebody may understand what I'm saying. That person that's hearing it saying, "Hey, somebody understands me." Even if it only hit one person. Like I said, I was going to do this regardless. If I appreciate you guys being here, but it was going to go out if there was nobody in there because somebody needs to hear it. And sometimes when you get the word of go, you just go. Somebody's going to catch it on a replay. Somebody's going to really say, you know what, that was for me. And that's what this is about. This is not a shot at those that feel like they're not doing enough. This is not for those that feel like somebody's pointing a finger at them. This is for the person that feels like they need to march on. Stop standing still. It's time to go forward. If I gotta say that 20 more times, I'ma beat it into the atmosphere. I'ma give it life. March on. March towards your new season. March towards your next destination. March on to your happiness. March on to your peace. March on. Because standing still is not gonna make nothing better. Looking back ain't gonna make things better. Y'all saw what happened to Lot's wife when she looked back. She turned into a pillar of salt. There's no more mention of her in that book, right? So it's time for us to look forward. It's time for us to march on. We have to live our lives. And even if you say, you know what, I'm going to stop doing, I'm not going to do a live for a little bit, then so be it. Sometimes we pour into so many people that we don't have no more to give. So it's time to refuel yourself. Sometimes it's just time to take a time out, whether it's 20 seconds, a whole minute, or whatever. Just take your time and do what you got to do. And that's it, you know? And I believe in each and every one of you guys here. I believe in Anti, I believe in Realist, I believe in Miss Coco, Tay. I believe in you guys. But it doesn't matter if I believe in you. You got to believe in yourself. So if you believe in yourself, take the advice and march forward. Take the advice and understand that that's the best thing for us to do is to march forward because there's nothing else behind us. There's no need to look behind us. The pains of yesterday is just that, yesterday. If you got to forgive somebody to take back the power from them, you forgive them. You don't have to forget. You can forgive them so you can go forward. And that's what I'm telling people. Go forward. Forgive and go forward. It's okay. And if you feel like you can't, then it's time to ask yourself why. Why do I want that person to have that power over me? Why would I allow somebody to maintain that entity over my head? I'm not a camel. I'm not a horse. I'm not one of the people that you have to put something ahead of me to go forward. I can do that all by myself. Thank you very much, Browns. Good morning. And that's what we need to do. We need to keep going forward. March on. Stop looking back. Let's look forward. If you need the blinders, wear the blinders sometimes, because sometimes we don't need the peripheral. Sometimes we just need to focus on what's in front of us. And what's in front of us is progression, happiness, peace, joy, love, whatever it is that you need to go forward. But it's right in front of you. We don't need that dangle. We don't need to dangle nothing in front of us. We're not those animals. We are the highest creation besides God. Because the Bible says we're better than angels, or we're worth more than angels. So we have to understand that that's what God wants for us. And if we have to strive for it, let's strive. Will it be a struggle? More than likely. But if you ain't striving, you would never know the struggle. You don't know what you can put yourself through. That's why, I told people to fast so they could find the inner self and understand what's in them. Because people don't understand what they have inside of them anyway. People don't understand that they're a storehouse. People don't understand that there's a God dwelling within you. He has given us everything that we need already to progress in life. So we thank God for that. But if we don't know what it is, we can't use it. If we don't know how to use it, it's just collecting dust. It's time to break it out and march on. That could be our weapon. The power of love can allow us to go forward. The power of peace could allow us to march on. But if that's what we need to go forward, we need to find it, and we need to find it quick. Because as long as we don't have it, there is somebody waiting to manipulate us. There is somebody waiting for our downfall. It's somebody waiting for us to fall straight on our face, laugh at us, and I told you, you ain't gonna be sugar, honey, iced tea. Right? We don't need to hear that crap. We know what we are. We are mere images of the creator that created us. And since we are the God that's in us, we might as well act like the God that's in us. We might as well stand up to occasions. Because guess what? All of us are an occasion that people must rise to. What does that mean? That means some people are so afraid of us that they will do anything to take our shine. Some people are so afraid of us, they will try to steal your joy. But they never gave you none of that in the first place. So march on from them. Dust yourself off and go straight. Dust yourself off and go forward. But it's just time for everybody to march. It's time for everybody to say, you know what? I am better than my situation. I am better than what they are trying to pull me into. I am better. I am, because you are. I am and you are. Say to yourselves, I am, and go forward. Say to yourself that I am a conqueror. I can defeat this problem. I can make this testimony a blessing for somebody. I could take this pain and make it a footstool towards my victory. But in order to march on, we have to understand that you are greater than what some of us think we are. We don't need all that pouring into, because sometimes the energy and the love and the strength is within us already. So it's time to march on and at least try to find that. Let's find that first. And then we can do whatever we do afterwards. If we fall on our face, guess what? You know what you can say? I tried. But if you don't try, it ain't worth a hill of beans. If you don't try, you feel less than yourself, because you haven't tried. But if you try, you can march on and see, hey, I can win this battle. I could defeat this depression. I could defeat this anxiety. I could defeat this misery. But you have to understand it's already within you. God has already given you that blessing. He's given you that gift. Look in your storehouse and find it. I'm just saying, because at the end of the day, we have to understand I am important. I am loved. I don't need to be by myself. I am more than isolation. You only isolate to gain strength. You only isolate to find yourself, examine yourself, encourage yourself. That's what you do in a fast. You isolate yourself from certain things and situations. You sacrifice. What are you sacrificing? You may have to sacrifice that friendship because I am important. You may have to sacrifice that relationship with the family member because I am important. You may have to sacrifice a whole bunch of things to go forward, to march on. But it's okay. Because if you march on, I promise you, if you sacrifice, you will be blessed with double. You will be blessed with abundance. You may have more abundance of love and peace than you ever had before. You may have more abundance of compassion than you ever did before. You may have more abundance of self-awareness than you had before, but you won't find it until you march on. It's time for you to march on, and it's time for you to go forward. And if you don't go forward, like I said, you'll be stuck in a rut. You'll be stagnated, and your goal will turn into a dream, and you'll wake up in a nightmare. So that's all I have for today, guys. I mean, like I said, if I was ranting, I apologize. But sometimes when you get that message, you gotta just push the button and get it out before you lose it. Because when it's given to you through energy and divine intervention, or whatever you want to call it, you just got to get it out there, because sometimes that energy will flow so fast through you, you'll forget it before you even remember it. You understand? So I just thank you for taking the time for hearing me out.
hearing my rant, but I hope it hits somebody. You guys got to march on and remember that you are somebody. Say that I am important. If you ain't important to nobody else, you important to yourself. You important to your family. You important to the people that really, really, really is around you. If your circle has to become a dot because you marching on, then let it shrink. If your square becomes a circle, let it shrink. March on. Those that support you will support you. Those that love you will love you. And those that love you will understand it's not an attack on the person that you're walking away from. It's just that you need time for yourself. You are important. So thank you guys for hearing me out. I'm sorry for the few minutes delay of quietness, but I hope you guys shut up, realist typo, man. But thank you guys, and like I said, I hope you understand the message. If you apply it and it works for you, then that's your blessing. If you apply it and it doesn't work, at least you said, you know what? I tried and I understood what he was trying to say. I understood his point. I understood what he was saying. And, let's just go on out there and let's just march our way to our new seasons. With that being said, I thank you guys all. I thank you guys all for, sitting there listening to me. I thank you guys for, being a part of the live. I'll be back soon. I'm out.